All right, welcome to Real Estate Done Rightish, your favorite podcast for realtors by realtors. I'm Jen.
And I'm Annalie. And for a combined 30 years, we've been working in this industry just trying to figure it out. And by figuring it out,
we mean we can now calculate mortgage payments way faster than we can calculate our own tip at restaurants. That's pretty good, right?
Not true, but good.
It takes you longer to calculate that than a tip. You know what takes a long time with the tip these days?
Checking if you already paid a tip.
Yeah, that too. But also if you're over 40 and you have to like zoom in and zoom out on the receipt, because you're seeing it like using a flashlight.
Yeah,
that happens. You have something to look forward to, youngins. Okay, if you think you might enjoy the show, or you have enjoyed the show, do us a favor, smash that. This is do people say that? Smash the follow button?
I don't, but you can. I'm fine with you saying it as long as you don't ask me to say it.
Oh, you got to say it. We want you to smash that follow button. Leave us a 5-star review. It really does help us. It helps the word get out. It helps the algorithms. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right.
Okay, so today, episode 1, we're officially.
It is the inaugural
episode. I think our chairs are the right height. That took us a long time to figure out.
Yep.
You do look my size now, from my perspective. For people who don't know, I'm quite tall, and Jen is quite average.
What people are going to think you're a giraffe?
No, doesn't matter. Okay, what are we going to cover today? We're going to talk about a little bit what's happening in our worlds. We're always going to start episodes with just a quick check-in, real talk, real time, what's going on in the world. But today the topic is kind of starting from zero. If you are brand new, or you're rebuilding a business, or you're relaunching, whatever you want to call it, or if you're a seasoned agent who finds yourself with kind of a dry pipeline, right?
Yeah.
How would we go from zero to hero?
Oh, ba-ding-ching.
And then in the show notes, we're going to share, today we're always going to try to share something that's of value, right?
Yeah, it's so valuable today.
Today we're going to share Jen's personal relaunch roadmap, which she is calling her balls to the wall plan. Can I tease that?
Yeah.
It's kind of an all-in, she is relaunching her business. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And so her personal all-in roadmap, something to just maybe inspire, give you an ideas, and look at how you could build that if you're in this position.
Yeah, right on. Okay, that's a great overview. Thank you for that. All right. Now, our casual real-time check-in. I have a riddle for you today, Annalie. Are you ready?
Is this what you hid from me?
Okay. Yeah. You have to solve the riddle.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
Okay. Oh, no. You like this way too much. Okay.
Because my junior high brain is so bad. Okay.
Okay. I'm so worried right now about what's coming up in your mouth.
You don't need to be that worried. Okay.
You can do it.
Here we go. People are happy when I go down. Sad.
Jennifer.
I'm sorry. Sad when I go up and panicked when I fluctuate too much.
She is fully crying.
What am I? Did you need me to repeat that?
People are happy when you go down, sad when you go up, and worried when you fluctuate. Panicked when you fluctuate.
Yeah. Oh, good. You're good. Okay.
Yeah.
I had something else in mind. Okay. Actually, okay. On that note, we were chatting the other day about interest rates, and you said, you know what? If I was going to a listing appointment right now, interest rates is not where I'd be hanging my hat. You were just like, that's not the thing right now to actually be talking about.
Not exactly what I said.
Oh.
I said it depends on the price point.
Okay.
So interest rates are fluctuating a little bit right now. Nationally, I think they've been between 6 3/4 and low 7s over the last, 6 months. Who is most affected by those micro fluctuations?
First-time home buyers.
Yeah. So lower price points typically.
Yeah.
So if I am in a first-time home buyer price point property, I am going to talk a little bit about what's stressing out your buyer, how may they react to different pressures from the economy, right? Interest rates would definitely be in that conversation. If I'm in a $2 million listing, that may be less of a conversation.
Gotcha.
That was kind of the point. Or a $1 million
missed your
listing.
point. I'm
or
glad we're
a
talking
higher
about
end,
this.
A higher end listing. Because what's pressuring that buyer?
Yeah.
Less about interest rate, right? They're probably not worried about the $100, $200, $300 a month that could shift their mortgage payment. They're probably more looking at the general markets right now, bonds, stocks, index funds, etc. They are more likely to have more investment. This isn't all across the board. Obviously, every buyer is different, but if we're just looking at that buyer, what might be affecting them? Job security, right? Now that might be, depends on what's going on and what sectors are being affected. But so the conversation is just a little bit about when you're talking to anyone, making sure you know who you're talking to and you're not coming in with information that might be less pertinent to them. That was kind of my point.
Oh, gotcha. I'm glad I asked that question. I was like, why wouldn't you be talking about interest rates? And that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on who you're talking to. Okay, got it. All right. So today, 0 to hero, Annalie.
Okay. So today we're talking about starting from zero, building your pipeline, right? This is something everyone faces at some point, either when you were brand new. Hopefully you were new, you built it, and you kept it going perfectly forever. That's the ideal. I don't know that many people do that, right? And there's, this is my 21st year being licensed. There's always going to be things that either in life or economically, or, I lived through the '08 crash, that are going to dry up your pipeline. And so I think everybody's going to find themselves looking to rebuild at some point, a move across the country, right? Agents
It can be a rebuild. And I would also say if you're looking to continue to grow your business, if somebody that wants to grow, we will hit those plateaus and that ceiling. And or maybe bring on another buyer's agent. It's like, I've got to generate more leads. So it might not be totally dried up, but then how do you break through a ceiling? That's basically what this is. What are the activities that you can do that's going to propel forward motion when you're feeling like you need more?
Yeah. And that's kind of where I am.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So do you want to start and just share a little bit about, do you want to talk about when you were new? What did you do?
Yeah.
No. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Jen and I have very different ways that we started in the business. I started without the intention to be in the business or to ever get licensed or to ever stay in the business. So I started as a marketing administrator or a marketing assistant on a big team. Then I moved to another team as their kind of operations manager. And then on that team, we started working in new construction. And my boss said, why don't you sit in the sales office 3-4 days a week as a licensed agent and just do your ops job from there. It'll help us represent the builder and give you some opportunities to potentially sell some homes. That was the catalyst for me getting licensed. So when I started as a brand new agent getting licensed, I already had 3 years under my belt in the industry and really didn't need to sell anything.
Yeah.
That was just kind of bonus. And so I didn't do this as a new agent. I didn't build a pipeline. I was also 20, I don't even remember.
You were just a sweet
22.
baby.
And so 23. So I didn't have a huge sphere that was able to purchase. That might have been a limiting belief, but really my sphere wasn't. I had a little bit of family. I don't have a huge family in the Twin Cities area. And so, I didn't do all the things that we're going to talk about today. Yeah. I really sat in a sales office and hoped that I would sell homes. And I did. Yeah. And that was how I started. And so, my journey was very different. And then I kind of took this path, honestly, in a real focused way in 2018.
Yeah.
I recommitted.
That's when we met, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of recommitted to the business, and that's when I started looking at all the things we're going to talk about today. How can I find more right now business and later business? Is my database, at that point I'd been in the business for a really long time. Is my database clean? Am I nurturing it? What am I doing? Just kind of all those things. So that was, I didn't do that journey until 17 years in the business.
Yeah. Which is really common.
Yeah.
And we know, cause now we've done trainings and coaching and managing, offices and just saying that to say, if there are people that are listening today that have been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years, a lot of them haven't done what I would say, and don't say this like with shaming, but like haven't built the business.
Yeah.
They've been just like hustling a house as it comes to them. And there's a real opportunity to build a real business. And I always said this to people, and now I've seen it in my own life and with my podcast and with this podcast. It's like all of the systems that you apply to real estate, if you learn it in real estate, you can use in any entrepreneurial endeavor. And that will help scale. But it's like a lot of people are like, well, I didn't know how to build a business until I got here. And then it was like, okay, so we'll talk about some of that. Yeah.
I'm still learning how to build a business.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I know the basics.
We are not experts. I just want to put that out there. We are not attorneys. These are my disclaimers. We are not attorneys. We are licensed in the state of Minnesota. We are not CPAs, and we are not experts even at what we do. We're doing our best.
I feel like I'm good.
Me too, ish. Depends on the day.
Yeah. Right. We're just trying to figure it out. Yeah. We're just trying to get it right.
Do a little bit better all the time. Yeah.
It's the name of our podcast.
For a reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So me.
Your story.
Me. So I got into the industry in 2015. So I was here I had my license when my first daughter was a baby, so almost 20 years ago, and did a few transactions and tried to hustle a few houses and I couldn't sustain that. So had another career, got back into the industry in 2015. And during that time, it was like, we need money. Like I quit my other job. And so I built my business on door knocking and open houses and circle prospecting. Within about 18 months, had a small team and we were tracking to close about 50 units a year as for me and my buyer's agent. And that was within almost 2 years. So it was like, and I was only working with sellers that second year and he was only working with buyers. And so it was this sweet little sweet spot. It took a lot of hustle on the front end, but I really did just kind of follow. People like, well, just follow the models. And it's like, I did that and it worked.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about meetings you had with the team leader, our office manager or coach, and you just be like, what do I do? Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And you would go do it.
Well, and that was like on a personal note for the people that are here know this story. But at that time, my brother had just died and my sister and I were in the business together, and she took a turn and went into staging. And so then I was really like, literally just like I felt like a horse with blinders on. Like I couldn't think outside of just tell me what to do. Yeah. And so I just did those things and they worked. So did that. And then I ended up in management and coaching after a couple of years of running my own business. So it was 3 years total that I had that team, and then it dissolved it when it was too hard for me at that point to do both. So managed, coached, recruited, did that for 8 years. And now, effective just a few months ago, I'm getting back into the business to sell on the sell side. Yeah. And so I really was like, I feel like I'm starting over. Like I'm not, but I am. And so this idea of like, if you were dropped in a new city or if you're starting over, and I'm not in a new city and I've still been in the industry, but just to speak to the human side of it, it's still daunting. It still feels like, oh my God, am I going to have a paycheck in real estate again? How do I get this engine moving again? Yeah. So that's really what we're going to talk about today.
Love it.
And I think like as an overview, as we've just been chatting about this stuff, because this is why we started the podcast, by the way, because we'll go out and drink wine and then just like chat about real estate. And we're like, we should be recording this. So here we are. Yeah. So 2 buckets, which is like, how do we get the now business, which is what I'm asking. It's like, I don't have the luxury of sitting around for another year and like hoping people want to sell and buy. I need to go find the low hanging fruit. So how do we get the now business? And then how do we build some things to sustain long-term relationships so that we're top of mind when they show up? 2 buckets. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's go.
Okay. Now business.
Yeah. So what I'm doing right now, my balls to the wall plan.
We have a clean rating right now on Apple Podcasts.
I don't think we're going to keep it. We're not going to. If I have anything to do with it, we're not going to keep the clean rating, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah, we want to just be,
really authentic.
Sometimes we have to say words that aren't perfectly clean. Go.
They're dirty.
No, it's fine. Your plan. This isn't dirty. This is just a
this is just let's go plan. Yeah. Let's go. So when I'm thinking about where's the low hanging fruit, where are the people that have houses to sell? They live in houses. Those people have houses to sell, the ones that live in it, potentially. So that's why I lean towards door knocking. It's like, if I'm going to go to door, odds are at some point, one of those people are going to say, yeah, I do have a house to sell. Now, whether they have another realtor or not is the second part of that conversation. I'm not going to get into that today. We can do future episodes, but excuse me. So my plan includes this last week I've been flyering, and now I'm like, I should actually knock on the doors. There's so many no soliciting signs. So what I'm leaving is my preferred vendor list. And then the last one on there is me. I'm the world's best realtor in hyphens, according to my mom.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny.
Isn't that cute? Yeah.
I like it.
But I'm like, I feel like they'll keep it. It's something I would keep.
Yeah.
It's like, I need a painter. I need a yard person. So I'm leaving that along with like local market data. So I'm not asking for anything. I'm not soliciting for business. I'm hopefully leaving them something of value. So flyering and or door knocking, I've got a goal to hold a minimum of 1 open house a week. If I hold the open, I'm flyering around that, leaving the same type of information plus an invite to the open. And then I'm also working through my database. So I had a database of 400 people, and some of them were from my old farm, which is now almost 10 years old, and not the area I'm living in now and not the area I want to farm. So I'm going through, if I have contact information for them, I'm still calling them. And some of them were like really great contacts.
Yeah.
So I'm about halfway through right now, and I'm just deleting anybody that I'm dread. Like if I'm like, oh my God, I never want to talk to this person, I'm not leaving them in my database. We have those people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like cleaning it up, updating information, and then getting them on my newsletter. So I guess that kind of goes into the second bucket, and I'll try not to go there. What else am I doing for now business? That's kind of it for like right now business. Yeah.
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 Perfect.
Would you add anything to that list?
Well, if I needed somebody today, right?
Oh
same
yeah.
thing.
Let's
I
talk
would
about this
be-
question you ask in trainings.
Well,
I think it's so good.
yeah. Well, one thing I ask when I'm kind of training on this topic is, I try to find somebody in the room that I know has children, and then I ask if they have children.
This is where
Jen?
Annie's tough as nails.
Jen, do you have children?
I have 3 babies.
Okay, amazing. I'm sure you like them, right?
I love them so
Yeah.
much.
Okay, so if I kidnapped your children,
Don't do
or
it.
just one of them, who's your favorite? No, I'm just kidding. Just if I kidnapped a child,
Yeah.
and I said you have to go sign a listing agreement by midnight tonight to get your child back, could you do it?
Yes, I could.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody says yes. Now, I do think some people are kind of like, I don't want to say yes to this question, but it's about my kids, so I have to because I'm in front of a room, or I'm in a room full of people. And so then that just starts to get people to think about, there is somebody out there right now in our market, whatever our market is. In the Twin Cities, there's like 3,000 markets, right? There's somebody out there right now that is like, we need to call an agent. It's time. And so how would you go and find that person, right? They're there. You just, how dedicated are you, or how important is it to you to go and find them? So that's why I asked the question. It also always gets a little bit of like, but I'm like, just go with me on this. And then I asked them, how would you go find the person, right? So what would you do? I talked to everybody I know first. Okay, so this is your plan, right? Number 1, get your database in order. So again, that kind of goes to long-term nurturing, but it also goes to, who are you most willing to talk to first? Probably people you know. So step 1, get all of your people written down, contact information, and talk to them. And again, if you don't want to talk to them, they shouldn't be in your sphere. If you're going to avoid them and you're only going to send them an email every quarter, don't bother, kind of. These should be people also that you can call and say, I'm brand new. I'm building a business. Are you open to, when you hear someone talking about real estate, sharing my information or asking them to share their information with me, right? So that's number one. Okay, then what would you do? I would probably talk to everybody that I'm on the PTA with, or everybody that my kids playing basketball with right now, or, okay, that's adding new people to your database outside of your sphere, right? That is just
I'm going to pause you right there. Can I pause you right here? Okay. Because I feel like right now I can hear what people are thinking, which is all of the reasons they don't want to do that and all of their limiting beliefs. Right?
Yeah.
But in a scenario where you're like, I need a listing, if the limiting belief is, I'm brand new, I'm in a new city and I don't know this city, but if your kid's life depended on it and somebody said, but you're new, I don't know if I can trust you, you're going to look at them and say, you can trust me to figure this the F out. You're like, I know how to solve problems. I know how to find the answers to the questions that you have. I will do it. I will make it happen.
Yeah.
And in that is confidence, but also your resourcefulness. So I think that question, when people go to take action on it, it's going to surface where the limiting beliefs are, but then you can come back to the same thing. But if I had to, how would I handle that?
Also, if you had to, those might not be everybody's first two things.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people's first two things, but it probably wouldn't have been mine at 23.
Yeah.
And so if it's not, then what is? Okay, well, I would go door knocking, or I would hold as many open houses as I could find every week.
Yeah.
Like not one, I would hold 7 if I can find them, right?
Which, by the way, you can. Stack. Like you can hold them on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can hold a lot of opens.
Yeah. And so just kind of digging into, okay, what would you do? So now if I today was looking at where are the people that have already raised their hands, right? I would look to canceled and expireds, and I would look, I don't love trying to reach someone when 25 other agents are trying to reach them. So I always work old canceled and expireds. So people that tried last year or people that tried 6 months ago. And then you have to scrub and make sure they didn't sell. A lot of homes are selling, so there's not that many, but I would hit those people up. They already said, I want to sell. They probably still do. So if you can get in front of those people. Now, I used to call old expireds with the do not call list cramping down. I do not do that anymore, but we do mailers to them. We try to get in front of them. If it is closer in local, I actually had a lot of success with people who had moved and were renting.
Oh, interesting.
And when I was working those, that was probably my top success rate.
Okay.
And so anyway, right now we're doing mailers. We're just trying to get in front of them. If they're in our farm area, we're dropping something off at their door, et cetera. So who else is opening? It's why open houses are great, because the buyers that are coming in are also saying,
we're ready to buy.
I'm interested in real estate enough to be walking into someone else's home.
Yeah.
They might not be thinking about it for 2 years, but they're raising their hand, right?
Yeah.
So who else is raising their hand in the world would be what I would be looking for. And I would be constantly scoping out who else is raising their hand in the world. There's a lot of traditional ways, but there's a lot of just non-traditional ways. You think about every human you interact with and trying to see if they or anyone they know is potentially raising their hand.
Yeah.
And it just really training yourself to, how many times have you been at like a dinner and you hear the people next to you talking and they start talking about potentially buying or selling and you're like, do I? Don't I? Like, in your gut, you're like, I want to talk to them. They just raised their hand and they're literally sitting right next to me.
Yeah.
And at times I have like dropped a card and said, this is super weird, but I have my radar up to hear the words real estate. I overheard you talking. Here's my card. If you have any questions or you need anything, I just want to throw my hat in the ring as a resource.
That's great.
I also have had times where I'm like, no, they look like they're on their anniversary dinner. I'm not going to bother them and be that weirdo agent.
Yeah.
Or if you have like the same waitress as them being like, hey, this is super weird, but I put a little note on my card. Can you just drop this with them and just be like, hey, she don't want to bother you.
Yeah.
And she heard you talking about real estate. She just wanted to share her info or something like that. So just consistently keeping the radar up for people raising their hand. And then how committed are you to that? Again, it comes back to when do you need business? Today, tomorrow, next week? So the strategies are different. If you literally need business today, then
there's so many things I want to talk about, which is why we're going to have so many episodes. And I'm just going to throw this little asterisk in there. And then one of these days we'll go deeper into this. But I think part of what's really important and challenging to do is when you need business to not be showing up with, you say commission breath, but from a place of need.
Yes.
I'm just going to say it's an energetic thing to be able to go, okay, I trust that this is all going to work out. People can feel that energy when we're coming from I need you and will you give me something energy. And that's part of why we don't like prospecting, because when we're prospecting, we're focused on what we can get versus what we can give. Then we have that energy shift. So Just saying that even in that moment when you're leaving a business card and I know you don't have that energy at all about you. You're kind of like, you're lucky if you get to work with me. Let me offer you an opportunity.
I don't know if I'd go that
I
far.
mean, you know your value.
Well, I do
You really
think,
know how great you are, but you're not from an arrogant way. You know your value. So it's like, I don't need you. You might need me. And like, here's my information.
yes, and I don't think I came up with this. I'm sure I heard most of the things I say I did not come up with.
Yeah.
I've heard somebody way smarter say it, and it's just going to come out of my mouth now. I believe I heard somebody say in a training, when there was somebody that was really just saying like, I can't talk to my friends and family, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. I feel like I'm taking, and all I'm doing is taking. The response was, well, don't you think that you might be able to do a better job and serve them better than one of the agents who hasn't sold a house in 7 years?
Yeah.
I mean, what was the stat that just came out? 71% of agents didn't sell a home last year. So if people are talking to agents or talking to their brother's, cousin's, grandma's best friend as an agent, that might not be the best fit for them. So you can control how you help someone and how you speak to someone and how you make sure they're taken care of. If they work with somebody else, they can't even control that.
Right.
So I think that's a little mindset shift as well. Like offering to give someone information from my perspective is giving.
Yes.
Me sitting down with somebody at a meeting is always me giving, because my goal at a meeting is to give somebody all the information that they need to start making the right decisions on their real estate journey.
Yeah.
And so that is me giving. So I might be looking for the appointment, quote unquote, but I'm not looking to sign them.
You're not looking for the commission.
I'm not looking for them to necessarily even work with me.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get them for an hour to honestly 2 hours.
Yep.
And educate them to the gills so that they can make sure that they're solid making decisions moving forward.
Yeah.
So I think everybody has to find their own way of feeling really good about what they're doing in whatever their job is. That's how I feel really good about being in a quote unquote sales industry.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm in sales. I think
service.
I'm in education.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
really
good.
here to give people options and guide them and help them make good decisions.
Yeah.
That's my job.
And if you're new and you feel like, oh God, I am Sally's cousin's brother's whoever who's never sold a home. What I would say is, and I leaned on this when I was brand new, like, what are you good at? Because those things apply to every industry. So I know that I'm good at taking initiative. I know I'm good at solving problems. I know that I'm good at learning and teaching, and figure out what you're good at that applies to the real estate industry and have confidence in that. So again, if you're kind of in this situation where I got to go out and do this thing and somebody says, yeah, but you're new, you say, but that doesn't matter, because also we both know agents. I'm not necessarily here, just like in general. Yeah. Maybe they're not brand new and they close 100 units a year, but they're shit agents to their clients because they're jerks and they're not actually advocating. They're just trying to turn a deal. So just no matter where you're at, when you have the best of intentions to serve your clients and actually care about them and give a crap about what's important to them, you're giving. Yeah. And that's a good place to come from.
Well, and my point was not to say that my grandma's friends, cousins, whatever.
Right. But there are plenty of those people that aren't selling homes and don't know anything.
Even if you're brand new, my point is, as a brand new agent, you get to control what you bring to the table.
Yes.
And you can, with confidence, tell anybody that. Yeah. I get to control how I make sure that you're serviced moving forward and how I make sure that you have the information moving forward. I'm worried that you might end up with somebody that doesn't care.
Yes.
And what you know about me is that I'm a hard worker. I care. Obviously, you're going to be my first transaction. My first transaction that wasn't new construction was my mom.
Yeah.
I did a really good job because I cared a lot about making sure that she had a good experience, because how bad would it feel if it was not good?
Yeah.
Real bad.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my point also.
We're going to have trouble keeping these to 20 minutes.
I know. Well, it's not. We're already
at 31.
Minutes. Oh, yeah. Well,
it's okay. Jinx.
Too bad.
Okay. So I think this is we were talking about how do we find the now business, and then it started to naturally bleed into some of the systems to develop relationships that are I would say make it more likely that we're going to have a systematized way of capturing not now business, which becomes now business, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, what are the things that we're doing that nurture the relationship? So in my mind, it's like, okay, we've got these immediate people, and then we've got people that should be in a database, which we'll do a whole different episode on, but they're in some form of organization so that you can communicate to them consistently. In my mind, that's not spamming them with marketing. You should be asking the question, how am I developing relationship? The first bucket is, how do I meet new people? Door knocking, whatever, giveaways, whatever it is. The second bucket, or the second step in that process, is how do I develop the relationship with these people on an ongoing basis so that when they need real estate, I'm the first one that comes to mind and they know me, like me, trust me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
so
database. Number one.
Database is...
And database does not have to be something you pay for or something fancy. It can be a spreadsheet. It can be a Word doc. It doesn't need to be anything. The more organized you can be, the better. And if you know 25 people and that's your database, don't spend $100 a month on a big fancy database system. Put them in a spreadsheet and make sure that you have a plan of who you're going to talk to when, about what. And there's notes about what you talked about. And I would say start that with the fewest amount of people you possibly can, so you can get really like dialed in and create habits around, when I have a conversation with somebody, I leave a couple of notes. Because on my team, we just had a conversation about like, these people, oh my goodness, they were referred to us. They're in as a Sphere referral. They bought 7 years ago. They just reached out and we were like, who referred them to us? The note is missing. It's not in there. And we wanted to say, hey,
we remember.
We're talking to these people again. Thank you so much again for the introduction. And so just creating habits early around keeping notes and then systematically making sure you're talking to people and you're connecting with people and you're giving to people. Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now in my balls to the wall plan.
Yes.
Cleaning up the database, as I mentioned, so going through it, contacting everybody in whatever way feels most appropriate for that contact. If they're younger and I know they're never going to pick up their phone, I might text or I might voice memo or leave a DM on social media or something, but I'm making a note of that. But then in that, I'm sending out weekly newsletters, which can be a lot, but I'm relatively adept at whipping together content because of being in leadership and having to like put a training together and, doing whatever. So if I would say minimum once a month would be ideal to send something out to your database, however makes sense to you, whether it's email or mail, snail mail. Like now I'm choosing to lead with revenue. So until I have money coming in, I'm not going to be spending a ton of money. I'm trying to keep that as low as I can. So it gets costly to send newsletters out to a database. I mean, up hundreds and hundreds of, if not thousands of dollars a month, depending how many.
Mail is so expensive now.
Because what is it per like?
I have no idea because I have a ton of forever stamps that I found when I was recently cleaning out some things, but it's so expensive.
For me, like
I think it's
almost
like 75 cents.
Oh, it was like $1.
Just for the stamp.
Oh God, I don't know.
I think stamps are like very expensive.
Okay, so
now.
It's probably like $150 to $2 per thing. So you have 400 people in your database and you're sending something out monthly. That's $800 a month.
Yeah.
Mine not including probably some of the printing. So anyways, that's why I'm doing email. I know not everybody reads it. Not everybody reads all of it, but they do probably see my name in their inbox. And hopefully my aim is to offer humor or like I'm making it me. And I'm not trying to overthink it, and I'm trying to offer some kind of value in each one. So monthly, if not weekly, I'm doing monthly giveaways, and that's a part of my newsletter. So I'm spending $150 instead of spending $800 on mailers. I'm spending $150 on like a gift card giveaway, and then I'm asking people to fill out a 3-question form to submit to that, so they can share that with people. And it's not like a deluge of people signing up, but I'm going to keep like fine tuning that.
Also,
yeah, and I can use that then in open houses, and I can put that on my door knocking flyers. And so I'm trying to leverage one thing in multiple ways. I'm also I'm a huge extrovert and I'm wired to be in community. I haven't even told you this yet. So, and I've done things like this, not real estate related. So again, the idea is not to get something out of this, because for me, it's just I will get something out of it just relationally. But I was doing this is how we got extra close, was through my like sisterhood experiment, which was just a women's thing. I've done a game night thing. I've done a book club. So I'm just coming back to like a monthly social, which I'm calling Third Thursdays. And that's going to just be open to people. And I'm going to invite people, and it'll be just something social every month that is a way to just build relationship. Now, if they end up in my database, great. But that'll be a thing that goes in my newsletter, plus a thing that I just share with people at the gym and people I'm getting to know. So that's like the long-term nurturing stuff that I'm doing in this balls to the wall plan.
Love it.
Okay. Anything for you on the long term? I mean, you have events and you have...
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of nurturing of our database. We still can do so much better. I'm consistently looking for different ways to do things for my database or to reach out to them. We do a monthly touch that honestly, sometimes it's really stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's an email that is really dumb. And I've had those emails. I've had people respond to them and say, oh my gosh, I was thinking about you and I couldn't find your phone number.
Yeah.
And I was like, it wasn't saved in your phone? And I get sad. No, but you know, I've had literally past clients be like, I wanted your phone number the other day. And I was like, I need to call her. And I didn't even want to try to Google you. And then your email showed up. This is such good timing. And they probably hadn't noticed that I've been emailing them every month for 7 years when we last worked together. But when they needed it, they noticed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So part of those touches, I don't care if they're good or they're bad. Part of it is just, here's something. It's information.
And there are
it's
two distinct groups of people on this. Some people will fight you tooth and nail on that. And I'm in the same boat as you.
Not everything can be that. But
no. But to me, I'm like, I always thought this, you know, those stupid holidays like that are like non-hot, like ice cream sundae day.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of my stupid sense of humor. Like stupid. I'm like, I would totally send out an email just for that one thing, just to be like, hey, did you know it's like ice cream sundae day today?
Yeah. Well, and
I don't know.
What if in that email you offered a free cone at Dairy Queen?
Yeah.
For anybody
Dairy
that like
Queen cone yesterday
reached out
too.
to you.
Did you know that?
I did.
It was
know
free
that.
cognac day yesterday.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Because a client works on radio and she said, I have no idea why it's free cone day, but it is because I've been promoting it for like the last month. I was like, oh,
it's amazing. But that's the kind of thing. Like, yeah.
So anyway, we make sure that we are consistently in front of our database. We're always looking for different ways to do fun things or to give offerings to them. So actually today I have an email going out that we are offering for a limited batch of people that sign up to egg their house, quote unquote, for Easter. Oh, so if they sign up, that they get 25 eggs per child. Those eggs will have if there's a allergy or whatever, that will account for that. But there will be candy coins, made little toys in 25 per child. So, and then the night before Easter Sunday, my team is going to go out and we're going to egg houses and we're going to hide all the eggs so that the parents don't have to deal with it. And then in the morning they can go out and have an Easter egg hunt.
That's so great. So I love that.
Not very expensive.
Yeah.
Some time to go do the egging on a Saturday. We might, depending on how many people we end up getting to sign up. This is our first year doing it. I have heard of other agents around the nation that have been doing it for a long time and now do it to like a 39,000 person development.
Wow.
And they only take the first 100 homes. Wow. And still they said they can do it in like 4 hours, all of the egging. Sounds like a lot, but
they're sweating.
But they get a big team, right? So if we get a bunch of people, like we'll bring more. Anyway, we're consistently looking for ideas like that are just like fun. Would this be fun for you? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Kind of things.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, we do at least one event for our clients every year, for all of our past clients. And that might be a happy hour at a brewery. It might be
we're going to do like
thing.
an in-depth episode on prospecting versus marketing. And we'll go into like all of the ideas. But I feel like this is maybe the thing that I would pinpoint on this right now is, you know, when I'm coaching agents, I'm also doing sort of a personality assessment, going, who are you? What do you love? What makes you you? Like do those things. If you, and this is one thing, you're like, you are so good at looking at the data, which one of our top episodes is going to be that, like a monthly market economic update. And to me, I'm like, all day long, when you send out emails about that, people are like, oh shit, I need to work with this woman. So anybody to be able to say, what makes you you? What can you provide that is uniquely you? Or just what is your personality? If you're quirky and funny, work with your humor. If you're really polished and professional, do that. That's great. it should be a combo of both. Obviously, we are professionals and we want to be skilled and educated in what we're talking about. But if you have all of that and then you have these other things that make you do those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think
play to them.
To that point, anything for long-term business or finding new business or any business, the more you can get really comfortable being you and not trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
There's the saying that's like, if you try to be everything to everyone, you'll be nothing to no one.
Yeah.
And so I really, for many, many years, thought I can't show my personality. I have to be like a robot realtor that's like, I'm here when you need me and I will give you what you want. And that's all I'm going to tell you. You're not going to know anything about me. I'm not going to be myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be funny. I'm not going to be serious. I'm not going to have a lane. I don't know what I'm here. But I was kind of like a shell of a person.
Yeah.
And I think that in any small business, people are offended or they're worried about offending somebody or like, but what if that person, my neighbor, goes and works with somebody else because they know this about me? Okay, then you're probably not going to have a great time working with that person anyway.
Yeah.
So I think the more that you can kind of get comfortable, and maybe this was just a me problem, but
no, when I was
really
first,
not
did I tell you this?
comfortable.
When I first started door knocking, I door knocked in a mauve, like Hillary Clinton, like 2-piece suit.
And pearls.
And high heels. Fucking through the yards with my heels just sinking into the grass, like, you idiot.
Yeah.
And then I was in a like group coaching group, and it was Kelly. I'm not going to name her last name for the sake of the podcast. And she's leading the group, and she was like, what are you doing? Like, why do you, like, just be you? She just gave that advice. So I was like, oh, yeah. And it seems so obvious in anything in life. When you draw a line, when you set a standard, when you are who you are, you naturally become more magnetic. And a magnet also repels. It repels things that aren't going to be attracted to it. And it's like, you want that. I want to repel people that are going to be irritated by the fact that I'm wearing Keds today. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Okay.
So let's kind of just
Wrap it up?
Really, wrap it up. But like, okay, first things first, always be, and I would say always be looking for new people, right? Always be looking for people raising their hands. Get that to be a habit. But if you're new or you need business, maybe sit down and brainstorm today, who's raising their hand right now that I can try to go and get in front of. And then second part, get your database in order.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even
because
if it's like an hour a day,
you're going to have to add them to something to keep track of them.
Yes.
Like you did. Yeah.
Yes. Don't be me.
You can do
had
HubSpot for free, by the way. That's not what I'm using, but if people are like, what do I use? Like, just use HubSpot for free.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I literally was the agent that had like people's names on Post-its that I would stick to the dash in my car, and they would end up under a seat, and I would be like, oh, this person 3 months later. Yeah. No bueno.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. So definitely, be looking for people raising their hands, build a database, and start getting systematic about reaching out to it. I think that's like the two things. Sounds really simple, but I think if you took an hour brainstorming and working on each of those every day, if you have nothing going on.
Then can I just add to that?
Yeah.
Like, once you have the plan together, the benefit to me of making the plan, the benefit for me when I put that 60-day, really I'm going to do it longer than 60 days, but it took the stress out of each day waking up and the fear out of like, how am I going to do this? Where am I going to find somebody? What am I going to do? Then it's like, oh, now the plan is telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to negotiate with the me that's sitting here that doesn't want to do it. The smarter me, the one that didn't want to go get a bartending job, the one that doesn't want to work a 9-to-5 for $70,000 a year because I could, is like, no, I'd rather go work this plan than have to go find a different job.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that's what it's coming down to right now. Like in this industry, when there's less homes for sale, you do need to be intentional about going. And you know me, people that don't know me, like, I want balance in life. I'm not all about hustle till you grind your face off, but like, you really only need to do that probably 2 hours a day at most, and you will have business within 60 days. I could almost guarantee it, unless you're horrible at what you do.
At speaking to humans.
Yeah. So put the plan
no,
together and then work the plan, and don't negotiate with yourself in those moments when you don't want to do it.
And very soon, one of the topics that's on our very soon list is how to put that plan together.
Yeah.
Tracking.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Habit building. What else?
Key takeaways. Any other and did anything else I say really stick out to you? It's like, wow, Jen, that was so wise. Put that in a plaque and set it up on my desk.
Yes. Well,
nothing else.
I think one thing is just you are doing this right now, and it's fun to watch, and it is making me relook at my business weekly
so sweet,
and bring new
actually.
things in, because I think that if you're hearing this right now and you're an agent that has a pipeline and you're doing okay, and I would say that I've just been doing okay the last few years. I have not been really looking at this and saying, how could I elevate or go to the next level? That watching the energy and the things that are happening for you very quickly because of the energy that you're putting out, and because you built the plan and you're being systematic and you're just doing it. My team is now doing new things because of that.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. You're so sweet. I'm so
No,
glad.
it's true. So I think that anybody right now, anybody could say, oh, am I really looking for everybody that's raising their hand? Or where do I have momentum? How do I lean into that a little bit more? Or so it's just been really kind of not eye-opening, but re-energizing to watch you step back into this and go.
Thank you.
It's fun.
Yeah, and we didn't plan to pat each other's backs like this, but we might as well do it.
Let's do it every single episode.
Every single episode. But I will say one of the things that's also been encouraging to me is you and your business that comes to you because you've been doing this and because of the way you service your clients. It's like, oh, I'll get to that place. Like I will get to that place where people will be referring people to me, and I will still do some of these activities, but I won't feel the same kind of need to do the balls to the wall, like crunch on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's freedom with those systems bringing things to you for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what? So people
to wrap it up, we'd love to hear from anybody in the audience. What do you want us to talk about?
Yeah. So we have our email in the show notes. You can click on that and then send us any topics, questions you have, because occasionally we're going to do, what are we calling them? Happy-ish hours?
How you doing happy hour?
Yeah.
How you doing happy-ish hour?
Yeah.
We haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
But we'll have some questions that are coming up, asking for like silly stories. We are also going to just anecdotally answer questions sometimes.
So if you have a question or anything you want us to chat about, write into us. And then when we do our happy-ish hours, we're going to answer those questions. And they can be anything.
Yes. And then download this week's resource, which is Jen's plan. That will be linked in show notes as well.
Yep.
And if you're finding value in these conversations, follow. Reviews are great.
You know
5
what they
is better
say,
than 4.
smash that
Smash
follow
it.
button.
I'm not going to say that.
Say it.
No, but it does make a huge difference. We are trying to get in front of as many agents as we can, not for any other reason than we want to share our conversations. Like I said, we sit and have these conversations 7 times a week. And we've had other agents sit in on them every once in a while and be like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to do this with you guys all the time. So we're like, okay, we're going to let people do this with us all the time.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Hopefully people like it.
We're about to find out.
If not, it'll still just be us sitting here talking to ourselves.
All right, so that's all for this week's episode of Real Estate Done Right-ish.
Until next time.
Cheers to doing it right-ish.
Ish. We'll try. I'll just do it as fast as it feels okay. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general knowledge and informational purposes only and do not constitute professional, legal, or financial advice. As licensed real estate agents in the state of Minnesota, we are not attorneys, financial advisors, or tax professionals, and we cannot provide advice in those areas or in regards to any agency or broker-specific topics in any other state. Any reliance you place on the information provided in this podcast is strictly at your own risk. We strongly encourage you to consult with qualified professionals for specific guidance related to your individual circumstances.
Wow! That was good. All right.